Hello and welcome to the podcast that asks the question,
What can the kids watch?
Night of the Comet from 1984. So, Night of the Comet.
Why did we watch it?
Because I had seen it when I was younger on VHS, but not all of it. Just a smidge here and there. I think someone had it. My friend had it, and they put it on, but I only ended up seeing a little bit, and I can't remember why. And for years, I'd kind of forgotten about it. And then Arrow Video, the Blu-ray distribution company, released it in a really nice special edition, and I bought it. And when I watched it, I started realizing I recognized, because it's a very visually specific film. There's a lot of red gradients used to give the apocalyptic look, and I was like, "Oh, I recognise this," and I recognise I recognise this thing of these two young women in a very red apocalypse. Mm-hmm. So that must have been about maybe 10 years ago that I watched it properly. And it was just playing on my mind that I wanted to show them something. I always want to show them things that have a bit more edge to them. And I always want to show them something from the 80s. And this has a lot of edge, and it is from the 80s, but it's got a lot of comedy. And I thought, they could handle this. There's zombies in it, but they're not the best zombies.
Not many zombies.
No, they're a bit sort of cack, really, the zombies. If you're watching it for the zombies, you're going to be disappointed. If you're watching it for two young women who were very proactive and strong and feisty and surviving an apocalypse in the most fun way possible, you're absolutely going to have a good time with this film. And I just felt, less so the boy, but I did feel like the girl would maybe
identify,
or just think, oh, this is fun. And we're living in times again like the 80s. Everything's secular, but we're living in times again where an apocalypse seems likely again, and it's partly Russia's fault again. And
we're not supposed to be political.
It's not. This isn't political. This is a fact.
Okay, fair enough.
In the 80s, there was a severe fear, and cinema did not help, because obviously films like Mad Max, and then a lot of films that ripped off Mad Max, made me very, very afraid as a child of the possibility of an incoming apocalypse or a very grim future. Mm-hmm. And I now call it an irrational fear of sand and leather. Although there's no sand or leather in Night of the Comet. That's more of a Mad Max thing.
Mm-hmm. Are we going to show them Mad Max?
No.
Okay.
Maybe Thunderdome.
Is that the one with Tina Turner?
Yeah, but that's the cartoony one. That's the very silly one. And a lot of people don't like Thunderdome, but I like it. I like Master Blaster, the little dwarf who sits on top of the big fella. It's fun. Also, Tina Turner's brilliant in it. But you've seen it. We watched Thunderdome just after Tina Turner died, because we had a choice. It was going to be, we could watch Thunderdome, or we could watch the biopic that Angela Bassett
What's
is
it
in.
got to do with
Yeah, and I think we both agreed it makes more sense to watch a film that's actually her, as opposed to someone playing her.
Yeah.
So anyway, Apocalypse is very big in the 80s, but this film's so fun. Let's quickly, because I reckon a lot of folk don't know what this bloody film is. So Night of the Comet is about a comet is heading towards Earth, and it's Christmas. And a lot of people are like, when this comet comes, it will be the apocalypse. And other folk are like, nah, we're just going to have a big comet party. But the comet does come, and it turns people into fucking dust.
It's quite...
That bit's grim. Yeah. The best bit for being grim is when she finds the dog lead in dust, and she's like, where's the dog gone?
And she doesn't click.
Yeah, because she hasn't worked it out that this has happened. She's like, oh, stupid dog.
Yeah, it is.
So anyway, some people have survived because they were protected in steel-encased buildings, rooms, whatever. It seems to be a film where people who have been hanging about in storerooms seems to have survived.
So the stock boys.
Yeah, and then there's a mild zombie threat, but there's also a group of scientists who had seen this coming and they'd barricaded themselves in a facility as well.
But self-serving.
Yes. So there's a lot of subtle sex talk in this film. There's nothing said that the kids would be able to latch onto, and that was a relief. There was one bit where one of the girls' stepmother is having an affair, and they say that the man who's coming around to have the affair, he'll have his hands down her pants, but that moved quickly. We were all right with that, and then there was a thing about the girl said, "You were born with an arsehole, so you don't need him." That was a good line. I like that. They say shit a few times. Friggin' came up. Pissed. They said pissed a lot. It's weird that, isn't it? Americans always say pissed for obviously angry, but obviously we're
You say
like
pissed
pissed.
as in getting drunk.
Yeah, pissed as a fart. I think. Oh, there was a bit as well where the main girl was in bed with her boyfriend, and they had either already fucked or were going to fuck, but
don't really see.
You didn't see anything, and there was a bit where
it's almost like they're having a sleepover at the cinema.
And and the bit where there's one of the girls, the younger sister, she has a nightmare and then goes to a sink and gets down to her knickers and bra to like freshen herself up. And then you discover that the nightmare is continuing. Now, I want to talk about this fucking nightmare. Mm-hmm. It's fucking annoying because the nightmare is the only time the zombie cop is in it.
Yeah, he's on the front cover of the DVD.
Yeah, Blu-ray.
Blu-rays.
Yeah, but that what we're looking at right there, that's Arrow's art. That's not the original poster. I'll show you the original poster.
It's almost false advertising.
It is. There you go. There's the not that you lot at home can do this, but that's the original poster, which does not feature the cop at all. It's just people looking up at the sky, and then there's an open door with the main character stood in it, and there is no sign of that policeman at all. So it's weird they've latched onto this policeman when it's like he's only in a dream, and then he's in a dream in a dream. So it's like don't promote the film on him. Promote the film on the two lovely lasses. You know, they're fun. What go on?
What have they been in?
Oh, they're quite good, actually. So, Catherine Mary Stewart, who plays Reg.
I think it's Regina.
Yeah, no, but she's obsessed with an arcade game, and she keeps obviously she can, like most fucking arcade games, you can only put 3 letters in for your top score, so she has to have Reg in the same way that I always have to put and.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it.
You only have Trey.
Well, yeah, or you could put your initials if you wanted
Oh,
to.
I could, and you could as well. You've got 3. You're 3 namer as well, aren't you?
I was always jealous of my sister because hers always spelt law.
Yeah, it does.
Whereas mine was 2, but TEW, and it's like this. Well, it could be wet backwards.
I suppose. And mine's NAE. So that's for those of you who don't know. I suppose, yeah, but for those of you who don't know, Andrew is not actually my first name. My first name's Nicholas, and I just don't use it. But it NAE, it's like not applicable Elliot. But yeah, so Catherine Mary Stewart, who plays Reg, she was in the same year as this. She was in a big cult Star Wars ripoff called The Last Starfighter, which we should do an episode on. The Last Starfighter's fucking awesome. That is a film I loved as a kid, and then it vanished. It never got a DVD release in this country, and then it was actually Arrow, once again, who released the Blu-ray. So it skipped DVD completely, and it was like decades before it got a Blu-ray release. And annoyingly, when Arrow first got their hands on it, it was only available in America, and then eventually they managed to get the rights sorted to show it over here. But I don't know what prevented it from getting a proper release in this country for decades.
You love Arrow, don't you?
I do love Arrow Video. Yeah, I think they do wonderful things. I wish they'd send me stuff for free.
Hint, hint.
Yes, she's in The Last Starfighter, which was a big deal. For some people, that film is a big deal.
Have I seen that?
I'm gonna go with no, you have not. So we should do that. The kids have actually watched it though, but they were very young. We did a double bill with Last Starfighter and a film called Message from Space, which is a Japanese Star Wars ripoff and is fucking brilliant. Has Vic Morrow in while he still had his head attached to his body. That film's bonkers, and that's not the film he lost his head in. So, anyway, but the kids fell asleep through Message from Space because they were quite little.
Yeah.
And it's directed by the guy that directed Battle Royale.
Oh.
But obviously it is from the 70s. There's something mad about it where they made it because back in those days it took longer for films to go round the world, as it were. Mm-hmm. It was made so quickly. I think there's some mad thing where it came out in Japan before Star Wars did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but the energy on Message from Space is incredible. I hope it is called Message from Space. I think it is called Message from Space. But yeah, so anyway, Catherine Mary Stewart, Last Starfighter. And then Kelly Maroney is in The Zero Boys, which is a fucking great film about weekend warriors. You know what I mean by that? They go and do like the war games at the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
They're all kitted out in the camo shit and they're all like pretending they're in a battle. And then they end up in a forest doing their thing, but someone has set up the forest with actual fucking traps and shit to actually kill them. And it's about them trying to survive their weekend warrioring.
Oh, that sounds quite good, actually.
It's not bad. It's directed by a Greek filmmaker that I quite like called Nico Mastorakis. Who's got a great raspy voice, and he makes films that range from utter cheap pap to utter cheap pap that's entertaining. But I like him. I've got a lot of his films. I think he makes charming films that are actually quite horrific sometimes. She's also in Chopping Mall, not Shopping Mall, Chopping Mall, which is a huge cult sci-fi horror film about robots that are sold to a mall as security, but they go apeshit. And there's a bunch of teenagers and she's one of them, a bunch of teenagers are in the mall, and they have to survive these psychotic killer robots in the mall, and they're like sort of evil R2-D2s.
Was this before or after Night of the Comet?
Chopping Mall, that's a good question. I don't know when Chopping Mall was made. I think Chopping Mall might be before. I'm going to stick my neck out and say before, but it could be the same year. What else? Oh, she's also in Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
I've heard of that.
You never seen it?
No.
Oh, it's good. It's really good, Fast Times.
Who else is in that?
What's his name? That lad who likes to beat up reporters. Sean Penn.
Oh, yes.
And Thingy's in it as well. What's if yes? From Gremlins.
Oh, Phoebe Cates.
Yes, yeah. That's the film where she gets her tits out.
Okay. Who's she married to?
What's his name? Kevin Kline.
Kline.
Yeah, I think she married Kevin Kline and stopped acting.
Okay.
I seem to recall she finished her career on a film called Princess Caribou.
Do you know what I'd like to see?
Is it Phoebe Cates' breasts? Because I can accommodate that.
God, no. I would like to see Drop Dead Fred.
Yeah, I think we should show the kids Drop Dead Fred.
Because I don't know how I'll feel about it as a parent. Because it's all
very much against the parents. But
Yeah.
that is a film with Carrie Fisher in. And we were saying the other week, I was saying the other few episodes back about Carrie Fisher should be in more stuff. So
Okay.
yeah, we should.
Drop
She also,
Dead.
and we should watch The Burbs. And then, so the two girls end up meeting a man called Hector. And Hector is played by... Hang on. Hector is played by Robert Beltran.
I feel like I've seen him
You
in something.
have seen him from something. He's very He's so famous for one role. Firstly, do you remember a film called Eating Raoul? We did I have shown you Eating Raoul. He's Raoul, and some people eat him. Anyway, he's in that. But he's so famous for one role that his IMDb image is that character. Go on.
Is he? I feel like I've seen him some kind of sci-fi thing.
He has markings on his face the entire time he's in this series.
Star Trek?
Yep.
Star Trek.
He's in Star Trek Voyager. He's Mr. Chakotay.
Because it's funny, because like you see these people in like 80s films, and you're like, I know them from somewhere, and
well, that would have been. I think he would have been Chakotay maybe 11 years later. But he's got a very specific look. He's a very handsome man.
Yeah.
So the let's this film has a great soundtrack.
Yes, it does.
And then out of nowhere, a version of Girls Just Want to Have Fun starts playing, and it's not Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah, because I remember it playing.
Yeah.
And then like, oh, that doesn't sound as high as Cyndi.
Yes.
Kind of thing. It's like one of those. Have you ever been in a shop when there's lots of cover versions?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know this version.
And appropriately, they're in a shop when that music's playing. So it could be part of the plot that they're listening to music over the speaker system, and it's all they've got is a version of that song that's copyright. That's sort of less of a copyright infringement.
I wonder how that works. Obviously, is it more expensive to have Cindy's version?
Yes.
And I'm assuming she didn't write it.
No.
Okay.
So it's a case of more. It's cheaper just to get someone else to record it, and that's what happened. So when they're in the shop, they are attacked by the stock boys, who are a bunch, basically the stock boys of this huge department store, and they've decided that this is now their place and they're ruling it, and no one's allowed to come in and rob from them, and they're all absolutely twisted and mental, and they're an archetype of apocalyptic films. You usually get a character or a group of characters who are maniacal, not terribly effective, but frightening because they're clearly unhinged, and usually have cackles. They're usually like
oh, that was loud.
Well, fun. I forgot, he does say fuck as well. Because he shoots one of his stock boys, and he says, "I'm not crazy, I just don't give a fuck." And that's probably the worst the swearing gets, is that one fuck. But there is a homophobic slur said in it as well.
Yes.
The homophobic slur everybody knows. Not homo, the other one, the F one.
But the kids asked, "What's that?"
Yeah, they did. And then I was like, I'll explain later. I never actually did. I didn't get round to explaining to her later.
Yeah, but I think it's one of those things that when things like that come up in older films,
yes,
it's best not to make a deal out of it, and hopefully they'll forget about it.
And we didn't. I said I'll explain later, and there was enough film went by that she forgot.
Yeah.
So, they really enjoyed it. The boy, I felt, he's quite wriggly. He's wriggly at home in a way that he's not when you go to the cinema.
I don't know, we saw...
Oh, was he wriggly for you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's you then.
What?
He's not wriggly. He's not odd. It's you. He's wriggly when he's sat with you, so he's going to have to start sitting with me.
Okay, fair enough.
Wriggly. But I felt that he was afraid to begin with. Mm-hmm. Because I told him it was basically a horror film, but I said it was a very light horror film, and I said a lot of it was played for laughs, which is true, but nevertheless, all that doesn't mean anything to him. Being told it's a horror film is what meant something to him. And then as it went on, he got the gist of it, and I think he started to relax and enjoy how silly it was. And I think there was a good few jumps for him as well.
Yeah.
But he said he enjoyed it, and the girl definitely enjoyed it. And I think, not that she's very stubborn at the moment and very bolshy and quite
it's just that
angst.
age.
She's full of angst. So not that she needs to see two very strong women on screen, but it's important to see a film made back then. That's like when Hector's useful, but if Hector didn't turn up, they'd still be okay.
Yeah.
They're very
capable,
active young ladies, and they also have a really good understanding of how guns work because their dad is military and he has taught them to use guns, and they're firing off a semi-automatic that keeps like locking, and they think it's shit, and like, we can do better than this, and they know how to survive, and they're feisty and fun and just constantly interesting characters, which you can't always say that for female characters in these sort of movies.
No.
But they were loads of fun.
Because she has a bee in a bonnet about someone having a score on the scoreboard.
Yes.
When it was all hers.
All on her favourite arcade game, which I didn't catch the title of, but on her favourite arcade game, it's like she's in every position. It says Reg. And then somebody has taken up the 6th position with DMK, and she's like, who's that? Who's this DMK? Who is this? And then she won't go back to work until she gets that position back. And there is that, the DMK does pay off much later in the film.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Did you enjoy it? Because you've never seen this before.
I've never seen it before. I never even knew it existed.
No.
Until you produced it in front of me. And to begin with, I was just like, oh, I'm not sure about this. But do you know what?
What didn't you like early on?
Well, it was just... It's one of those 80s hammy kind of films, but it actually suits the genre of the horror comedy.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, to be fair, the rest of Civilization Turned to Dust is depressing, but then you can go to a mall and try on everything that you wanted to try on, and...
Yeah, it's
one of those...
It's a sort of fantasy apocalypse.
Yeah, I mean, there's bits of 28 days later, waking up and then there's no one around.
Yes, yeah.
Kind of thing. Obviously, this is a lot
sillier.
And
fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
Yeah.
The scientisty people, when they first turn up, you don't know how to take them.
No, because they themselves are a mixed bunch as well.
Yeah.
I think they're all attempting something different. But so they're not exactly on each other's side anyway, so that's hard to pin them down.
Were they military or were they just like a sect on their own?
I think they were military scientists.
Okay.
Which would explain why they had the bunker and the kit. And they did have... I tell you what, actually, the inside shots of the bunker were excellent. There was that wide shot where you always got a guard in silhouette, and he was clearly standing much higher than the facility was. Mm-hmm. And it was, you could just see almost not a bird's eye view of the facility, but you saw it from high angles, and then you saw the lift, and it looked like it was because there was a lot of shadow separating bits, so it looked like it was a shot made up of many, many shots. And I thought that was wildly impressive. There was a lot of really fucking beautiful shots in this film. I don't think it was always the best edited, but there were stunning shots. The empty LA streets were excellent. Like on a par with like what London looks like abandoned in like 28 Days Later. But this is shot better than 28 Days Later, because obviously 28 Days Later was shot on fucking DV cam and has aged terribly over the years. It's now quite a hard film to watch just for what it looks like.
So is this a cult film then?
Yeah, of course, yeah. This is as cult as you get. It's silly. It's a silly as fuck apocalyptic romp. How could that not become a cult film? It's funny, isn't it? Because there's a lot of apocalyptic films in the 80s, that people are very fond of, but when you look back, they didn't actually do well. And it's like, well, I don't understand why this was a genre they persisted with, because they never seemed to do well. But I'm glad they did do them, because, I love them. I like an apocalypse, but I do like an 80s apocalypse path.
Yeah, you're just a connoisseur of apocalyptic films in general, aren't you?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I'm a connoisseur of film in general.
Yes.
I'm permanently a student of film.
Yes, and you're teaching the kids as well.
Yeah. Right, I think that's everything I have to say of Night of the Comet. Would you recommend it?
I think it's for all the kids.
Yes.
Um,
So do you think the boy was too young for it?
I think he was too young.
Okay.
So I think maybe
That's
9 upwards.
That's the problem though with their current age ranges. It's like we can't show one and not the other. The point is to go for both, but a lot of it's going to be like wasn't really appropriate for him, but it was appropriate for her.
But then he likes Doctor Who.
He does, yeah.
So, and there's monsters and
Yeah, but
potential end of the world in those ones.
Yeah, but it's not that stuff that bothers me. It was the more fact it was like these teenage girls and they're very sexually active. Not that we didn't see him fucking or anything. And oh my god, there was that one bit where a boy, because there's some little kids and this thing about they're gonna put some kids to sleep. The scientist's gonna put some kids to sleep, and the girl asks what's going to happen. He goes, oh, it's just like going to sleep, and when you wake up you're going to be at the North Pole with Santa Claus, and then the boy says there's no such thing as Santa Claus, and I was like, oh shit. But then Jeffrey Lewis came to the rescue and was like, what, you don't believe in Santa Claus? And I was like, thank you, Jeffrey.
Yeah, because the boy did say something after that, didn't he?
He was like, he is real. It's like, yes he is, and that's what they're saying. That's what Jeffrey Lewis said. Ignore the fact he's wearing a terrible wig. Google Jeffrey Lewis. That was not his hair. Anyway. Right. I would recommend it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have put it in front of us all today.
No. Okay, then.
So, yes.
Good.
Lovely. Right. We will speak to you next time.
Bye.
Bye.